Oh. Oh. Oh, Jesus. It has worked. Hi, I'm the NerdMeister and welcome to the channel. I recently bought myself a smart telescope, something like this. This is a C-Star S30 Pro, but what I want to show you applies actually to all smart telescopes. I was always interested in astronomy, but work has left little time for me to stay up all night. So I really like the idea of having a scope that can do a lot of things by itself, especially during the night. So I can focus on the observations and the pictures and what I want to see and want to have a look at, instead of having to stay up all night fiddling with all the tools, all the different bits and pieces of the telescope. And to be honest, to my surprise and to my amazement, I got really, from my point of view, fantastic pictures out of it. So I'm very, very happy with the scope, and I can full-heartedly recommend it for everyone out there who's interested in astronomy to make first steps into the hobby and into making really great pictures yourself. What really appealed to me and sold me on a smart telescope is planning mode. It completely shifts how the hobby works. Instead of freezing outside, trying to manually find targets, you just schedule your night and let it go. The scope then automatically slews to different objects and takes pictures all night long. In the morning you wake up to incredible data ready to process. Great pictures of galaxies, of nebula, of open star clusters, and so on. The focus shifts, in this case, from the technical struggles of the past to the creative joy of what you actually want to capture. It's just amazing. But, and there's a but, it comes with a risk. So what happens if it rains? So I was really worried about this. I don't want to have my scope drenched in rainwater. But I want to show you how I dealt with this problem with my prototype. So let me introduce you to my DIY observatory. It's a fully automated rain cover that shields both the scope and all the electronics the seconds it detects water. How did this all start? In the past, I've built quite a few projects using a Raspberry Pi. And I knew there were dozens of other sensors for temperature, wind, and so on. So I thought to myself, well, surely there must be a sensor for rain, detecting rain. And yeah, there is. And then in order to process this information, this input, I needed a microcontroller, a unit that actually can do things with this. And I came across this ESP32 microcontroller, as in essence a really neat kit that you can easily program and easily make use of. It also is quite cheap. It's about 6 or 7 euros. It's highly versatile. And once I had the sensor and once I had the chip, the idea came together. Well, step one, let's first detect rain. In the second step, let's do something about it, which in this case was, hey, let someone please wake me up if it rains. And this someone is the ESP32. So this is a final assembly. So you get the 3 rain sensors here, here, and here in parallel. You got this blue flashing light indicates this is a live signal. So every few seconds it tells, well, I'm ready, I'm waiting for rain. I'm sending a signal to this receiver here to the left. So this thing is completely autark. I can take it away into the living room while this whole thing stands on the balcony. So I can watch TV while this thing is constantly in contact with the main station, with the detector. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to simulate some rain by dropping some water onto the sensors. And what should happen is that this rain is detected and that this signal is sent over to the receiver, and we should hear a buzzing sound. It's going to take a little while. Right, the sweet spot. So There's one droplet there. Red light has come on. We have seen an immediate alert that the rain here has been detected. Another alert comes through, so now we have programmed it to beep several times. And then we have a beep comes a bit more frequently, and I can just shake it and switch off the alarm, so to speak. So this unit basically is doing exactly this. So this is the receiver element. It consists of an ESP32, which is connected through the NOW protocol with the other rain detector ESP32, which is outside of the house. So this is going to be inside of the house, wherever I am in distance to the rain detector. There are three components at this receiver. So we have first an LED, which just indicates that there is connection between the two components. So this will flash every 15 seconds, like a heartbeat, basically. Then we got, well, it's an alarm after all, so we got a little speaker here, an active speaker, which will sound an alarm. You can flexibly configure this alarm, so I've put it in a way that there's a single peep. Then a few seconds apart, there's another beep, and then after this, there's an annoying 5 beeps in a row, and then it stops. So it's like a car alarm. So it doesn't annoy you too much, but it definitely gets your attention. And we have here, in order to switch off the alarm, a tilt ball switch. If you want to cancel the alarm, canceling means reset the whole thing, put it into the original state. You just shake the device. I will later put it into this box. So you shake the thing. Oh, this is the tilt switch sensor. So if I'm going to shake this, the alarm goes off. You see, once I realized I could send a wireless alarm, I had a sudden reality check, waking up my wife at 2 or 3 in the morning to tell her I have to run outside to cover the scope is something is not a good idea, to be honest. It's not good for me as well. I mean, you still have to get up at night and save your scope. So I was a bit worried if this is a really good idea to do this. So I needed to automate this. I wanted to automate this. And on paper, that's kind of simple. So you know what? Just put a canvas over the scope. You know it's raining, so go ahead, put a canvas over the scope. But in reality, this mechanical challenge was by far the most complex part of the entire build. And to get the folding frame to sweep a full 180 degrees over the scope was actually a massive headache. Well, I settled on the folding canvas frame that instantly, without heavy, slow grinding motors, I decided to use mechanical spring tension. I wired up 6 high tension springs in total, 3 on each side. So when the canopy is open, these springs are squeezed incredibly tight, loaded like a catapult, just waiting to pull the cover over the scope. But how do you hold this pressure back and release it electronically? So I went through a few ideas. First I thought about the standard electromagnet, but then it was not really a good idea because it would require constant electricity and current to stay locked all night long. Next, I used a stepper motor that was pulling a little pin, a locking pin out, but due to the high tension, it was not strong enough to pull the pin. There was too much friction preventing this. So at the end, I found a really good solution. It was a professional 12-volt solenoid magnetic lock. It can easily handle the pressure, and the moment the ESP32 cuts power to the lock, the frame literally flies over to the other side, instantly shielding the telescope. So it was exactly what I want. And I was quite happy when this happened, to be honest. But once I got the latch working, I ran into the next massive hurdle, which I kind of underestimated and left to the end, to be honest, in my concept. And this was also kind of the low point of the project. What would I use to actually cover the telescope? And to be honest, being pragmatic, I tried a trash bag. Didn't work. It was a really bad idea. It had zero structure, it sagged, it snagged on the scope, and it didn't offer any real protection, so that was a no-go. After long thinking, I had this epiphany. Well, what about thinking of a kind of an umbrella kind of solution? You got these wires, you got the fabric, maybe I can use and build something like this. So first thing I did, I bought a lightweight, weather-resistant camping canvas for a few quid. The next, I bought some garden wire, standard. So it came in a coil, but I needed straight wires, so I had to straighten it out, which was a bit tedious. But there's some clever ways to do this. Actually, you might want to look this up, how to stretch these wires from something curly into something really straight. Using that wire, I fabricated 11 identical rectangular support frames. I attached them to the folding canvas. I created some kind of accordion-style dome, just designed for this scope. And to be honest, it's lightweight, structured, and it does fold beautifully. With the accordion dome attached, the springs loaded, and the solenoid locked, the moment of truth has finally arrived. This was the big test. If I triggered the sensor, would the canvas slide smoothly over the scope? Or would the wire frames catch, snag, and ruin the entire setup? My heart was in my throat. What would happen? I wasn't really sure. So I put it to the test, and I used my fingers to drop some water on these rain sensors. So let me be completely honest with you. I'm, as you can tell, not a perfectionist, and I'm not a trained electrical engineer. It's just me using a bit of technical understanding to build stuff that works, and it works for me. So what you see here is a working prototype. It's not a polished retail product. It might be, well, it actually is, a bit rough around the edges, but it solves a real problem. And it was actually fun to build. And it works perfectly now every single night. So when I'm out there observing, the scope is in this frame, and I know I can rely on this, that if it rains, my scope is secure. If I look back, and you just want to solve the core problem, keeping your telescope dry, probably the easiest thing would be to actually just use a wireless alarm. If you can afford it, if your partner or if your situation allows it, having an alarm when it rains is actually a good start. And you can build these sensor, the rain sensor, the wireless, and the receiver with the alarm, I would say in a few hours. I could certainly build it, I would think, in maybe 1 or 2 hours, to be honest, because I know what I'm doing now. If you're new to the whole thing, I would say it's about a day, roughly, to get to know all the tools. Can do this. I'm absolutely, you got my trust in this. So it's really simple as that. You don't need this mechanical side. If I would do it again, I would probably use a different approach. The canvas was really tedious to build. I'm not so entirely sure how long it will last. So what I would probably try next, if I would have to do this again, I would probably use a huge plastic box, standard plastic box, build some kind of rails, and would just pull it over the scope when the rain starts with a little motor attached. But, I've built my thing, so I'm not going to build another prototype like this because I've got my solution. But if you think about starting this, if you think about, well, I'm going to maybe inspired by this talk, build something for myself, maybe invest a few moments. Can I buy a box like this? Is it realistic to have the rails, to put it on rails? What motor do I need? So it will be a fun project. And please share your work if you do this with me and with the others, so we can profit and learn from you. In a summary, it was incredibly fun to build. It took a while because it was the first time I was using the ESP32 in earnest myself, so this was new to me as well. The whole thing with the mechanics, certainly not easy. But I'm very, very happy with the result. It was relatively cheap. I think you can get the whole thing for less than $100, maybe even less than $50, depending on what material you have at home. So if you enjoyed this journey, As people say, please hit the like button and subscribe. Also, there's a little notification. Again, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everybody, and clear skies, and I hope to see you next time.